Do you ever feel like no matter how hard you try, you're still behind? You wake up already thinking about all the things you have to do: laundry, dishes, beds, bathrooms, meals, schedules, activities. The mental load of being a mom never seems to turn off. You love being a mom. You love raising your kids, but you also feel buried, like you're constantly trying to do all the things you should have done and still never quite catching up. If you're an exhausted mom who feels the pressure of doing it all, today's episode is going to feel like a deep breath because I'm going to show you how small, almost effortless shifts in your daily routine can dramatically lower your stress, reduce your mental load, and help you feel productive without burning out. Welcome to Conquer Mom Stress, the podcast that helps you stress less and enjoy motherhood more. If you've ever crawled into bed at night, completely exhausted, but still feel like there's so much left to do, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Jill Gockel, and I believe that motherhood is meant to feel joyful, not exhausting. Today, we'll uncover what's really fueling your stress and give you the practical tools to conquer it so you can finally feel like the confident mom you were made to be. Also, if you have a specific question or issue you're stressing about, head over to jillgockel.com/ask to submit your question. And who knows, you might just be featured in an upcoming episode so you can get practical, real-world solutions to the exact challenges you're facing. I remember standing in my kitchen one afternoon, looking around at the mess. Dishes stacked up, crumbs everywhere, laundry was in the dryer, my bed had still not been made, and the bathrooms were waiting to be cleaned. I thought, I can do all the things, but why does it feel like it's just constantly piling up? I can never get caught up. It wasn't that I wasn't working hard. I was busy all day long. The problem was that everything felt like it was waiting for me. Every unfinished task quietly whispered, "You're behind. You should have done that already. You are not on top of things." And that whisper turned into mom guilt, pressure, and eventually what felt like mom burnout. I wasn't just tired from cleaning. I was tired of feeling like a failure because I had all these unfinished tasks piled up. What's happening here happens to all moms, and it's something that I like to call the snowball effect, where one thing rolls into another and then another, and before you know it, you're carrying a giant emotional and mental load that feels impossible to manage. Motherhood works like this. You tell yourself you'll fold the laundry later. You leave the dishes because you're tired. You delay making the bed because you just don't feel like doing it. You mentally bookmark 5 small tasks for when I have more time, and none of those decisions seem like a big deal in the moment, but they don't disappear. They stay open in your brain. By noon, your mind is juggling 20 unfinished tasks. By dinner, your mental load is screaming. And by bedtime, you feel behind, frustrated, overstimulated, and wondering why you're so stressed when you didn't even get that much done. It's not because you're incapable. It's not because you're a bad mom. And it's definitely not because you can't do all the things. It's because small delays snowball over time. Every postponed task quietly increases stress. Every unfinished action drains a little more mental energy. And every open loop whispers, "You're behind." And that snowball doesn't just sit on your to-do list. It affects your tone. It affects your patience. It affects your joy. When your brain is carrying a backlog of incomplete tasks, your nervous system stays slightly activated all day long. You feel rushed, pressured, on edge, like you're constantly trying to catch up. And when you live in that low-grade pressure long enough, motherhood starts to feel like a job instead of a calling, because the mental clutter has stolen your sense of accomplishment. The truth is, it's rarely the big responsibilities that exhaust you. It's the accumulation of small, unfinished ones that you're going to tackle later. That's the snowball effect. And today we're going to talk about how to stop it before it grows, so your home feels lighter, your mind feels clearer, and your joy in motherhood has space to breathe again. Listen to this verse from Proverbs chapter 31, verse 27. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. This verse isn't about perfection, and it's not about preventing yourself from ever being able to sit down and rest. Instead, it's about attentiveness. It's about the small faithfulness in every ordinary moment. God doesn't ask you to do all the things perfectly, but He does call you to steward your home with love, one simple action at a time. And when you approach your responsibilities with intention instead of dread, these responsibilities stop feeling like a burden and start becoming purposeful. When small tasks build up over time, your stress rises, your energy drops, your confidence shrinks. You stop feeling productive and start feeling reactive to everything. And that spills over onto how you interact with your kids. Instead of calm connection, you feel urgency. Instead of warmth, you feel pressure. And that tension affects the atmosphere of your home. Your children don't need a perfect house, but they do thrive with a peaceful, confident mom who feels capable, not burned out. When you feel on top of things, even in small ways, you show up lighter, more patient, more joyful, and that leads to happy children. So how do you reduce the stress without adding more to your to-do list? Well, it's simple. You stop waiting for later and you start embracing something I call sneaky cleaning. In Luke chapter 16, verse 10, Jesus says, "Whoever is faithful in little is faithful also in much." Very little, not massive cleaning days, not exhausting resets, not doing everything perfectly, just being faithful in the tiny moments. That's the heart of sneaky cleaning. Because what happens is you hear a prompting in your mind, which is actually the prompting of the Holy Spirit, of a way that you can jump on the task. But in that moment, you choose laziness over being proactive, over taking initiative to get it done, because you just don't feel like doing it right now. And honestly, in the moment, it doesn't feel like it's that big of a deal. But here's the problem. For example, in the morning, when I get out of bed, I have two choices. I can either make my bed up immediately, or I can say, I'll take care of the bed later. And guess what happens? If I don't take care of it right away, all of a sudden, it seems like such a huge task later that I continue putting off. Here's kind of an insight on why that's happening. When you put those tasks off, that also gives your mind time to start fabricating all the reasons it's going to take you so much time. You have time to add drama onto the task. Rather than just ripping the Band-Aid off and getting it done, now you have to think about it all day long until you finish it. And that added time causes your brain to start magnifying the task, making it seem like, oh my gosh, it's going to take forever to get that job done. When in reality, it's probably only going to take you a few minutes. That drama is what makes your brain perceive the job as being bigger, harder, and more time-consuming than it actually is. So how do we do this? How do we start the sneaky cleaning so that you can start tackling your to-do list right out of the gate without hardly any effort at all? So here's a couple of examples. Make the bed immediately. While you're laying in the bed, grab the sheets and the blankets, fluff them up before you even climb out. Remember, if you wait until later, it sits on your mental checklist all day long, allowing you to add drama to the job. But if you make your bed before you even climb out of it, it takes less than 2 minutes. Instant win, immediate productivity, lower mental clutter, and your morning routine just became energizing instead of overwhelming because you got a win the moment your feet hit the floor. Another example is that when you're showering, why not just clean the shower right then before you even step out? Listen, this is the sneaky cleaning key. You want to tackle these jobs when they are primed for the fastest, most efficient completion. When you take a shower, the steam has already softened everything, so the grime is easy to wipe off. You already have soap everywhere because you put soap on your body, you sudsed up your hair, and that soap splashes off you onto all the walls of the shower. So if you just have a cloth handy, break it out, use it the moment you turn the water off. I'm telling you, it'll take you 60 seconds to clean your shower. But if you wait until later, it becomes at least a 10-minute task because now all of a sudden that soap and grime is dried, caked, and it's going to take a lot of elbow grease and a lot of time soaking in the bathroom cleaner. Do yourself a favor. Put the compound effect into action by utilizing these little tasks that you add in to what you're already doing so it doesn't feel like any extra burden to you, and yet you are knocking things off your to-do list like crazy. Another tip for you is to wash your dishes while you're cooking. Listen, you are already in the kitchen cooking. You're probably not going to leave in the 20 minutes it takes for your casserole to bake in the oven. So use that opportunity to take the dirty dishes from cooking and wash them right away while all the food is still soft. While you're already in the kitchen anyways, you'll be maximizing your effort and your time. If you wash the pan the moment you're done with it, it's faster to clean and prevents buildup. Instead of facing a mountain of dishes later, you face almost nothing. That's how to be productive without any extra effort. This is seriously one of my favorite tips because I can't tell you how many times I put a dish in the sink to soak. Let's be honest, when we soak dishes, it's really because we don't feel like cleaning it right in the moment. But the moment I do that, all of a sudden, it's like a magnet to more and more dishes piling up in the sinks. Whereas if I decide to wash it right then and there, the moment I'm done with it, it takes 30 seconds to wash the dish, put it on the drying rack, and my kitchen looks clean. I love it. My fourth tip for you is to reset rooms as you leave them. So when you're walking out of the room, take a quick account and see what are 3 things that you can pick up? What is one thing you can do to freshen the space? Can you fluff the couch pillow? Can you put 3 of the toys away? Can you wipe the counter really quickly? Small actions prevent big chaos. Your home stays manageable and not overwhelming. And probably the best part is your kids see these little actions that you're taking. As you pick up 3 toys, you tell them to pick up 3 toys. And all of a sudden, the space is toy-free. All without you having to yell at your kids or demand that they clean things up. Remember, one of the best things you can do to get your kids to help out around the house is by making this a team effort, doing it with them and inviting them to do it with you. And my 5th tip is shift your mindset from burden to faithfulness. Instead of thinking, I have to do all the things all on my own, think, I get to be faithful in the small things and God is going to bless me even more. This shift builds confidence. It strengthens self-worth and it reminds you that you really can do all the things, one small action at a time. Just like how the snowball effect can cause small tasks to pile up into enormous jobs that are weighing on your shoulder, you can also use the snowball effect in the reverse, where little actions that you take on all these tasks, it snowballs into a momentum of you being able to accomplish things and freeing up more time so that you can actually sit and rest. So you can sit and play with your kids. You can engage with them, go out with the girls without having the mom guilt on your shoulder of all the unfinished things left at home. Listen, when you see yourself completing small tasks throughout the day, something powerful happens, mama. You feel capable. You feel accomplished. You stop thinking about everything you should have done and start noticing what you did do. That confidence spills over into warmer interaction, more patience, better present parenting, more laughter, and more joy. Your responsibilities stop feeling like chains and they start feeling like quiet victories. That, mama, that changes everything. Saint Teresa of Calcutta said, "Be faithful in the small things, because it is in them that your strength lies." It doesn't lie in grand gestures. It doesn't lie in doing it all perfectly. It lies in the small things. Mama, your strength is not in massive productivity days. It's tiny faithfulness. And when you see what you're accomplishing throughout your daily routine, you don't feel buried anymore. You feel capable. You feel energized. And you begin to find joy in your home again. If you've been feeling overwhelmed, pressured, or weighed down by mom stress, hear this clearly. You are not failing. You are not behind. You are not meant to carry the weight of everything at once. God designed motherhood to be lived in small, faithful steps. And those small steps add up to peace. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Conquer Mom Stress. If today's conversation encouraged you, hit follow and leave a review. That lets me know that these episodes are hitting the topics you need. And while you're there, share this podcast with another mom who might need to hear it. Remember, this is your place to pause, reset, and start conquering mom stress, one small step at a time. Motherhood isn't meant to drain the life out of you. It's meant to be lived with joy, even on the messy days. And together, we're going to find that joy again.